19 races down here in the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season, and after everything is said and done, only one race remains, and we are here today at the Tricky Triangle, the Pocono Raceway here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, for the final race of the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. It has been a very fun season so far up to this point, and we have got a very fierce championship battle coming in. We've got 4 drivers eligible for the championship coming into the final race of the season, 3 of which are pretty much right in the thick of it with each other. Still, anybody of those 4 could win the title here today. We'll just have to wait and see, though, how everything goes down here, though, from the Pocono Raceway after 50 laps around the Tricky Triangle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the season finale for the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. Welcome to the Haas World Championship 200K. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to the Haas World Championship 200K here from the Pocono Raceway. The final race, race number 20 of 20 here in the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. And like I said, just what a season it has been here in the Haas IndyCar Series season. So much has happened. We've seen so many different drivers go to victory lane, and it's all come down to this. We've had a really interesting championship battle just about all season long. The points leader has swapped continuously, and at the end of the day, here at the Pocono Raceway, we got 4 drivers with a chance to take the title home here in the final race of the season. Really going to be interesting to see how it'll all play out here from the Pocono Raceway. And joining alongside me, we've got 2 owners that are very familiar with this racetrack and that have called races here in the past, Matt Tuck and Nathan Stapleton. Thank you both so much for joining me alongside the call for this one. I'll start with you, Matt. Of course, you were in the booth here for this race back in 2023, I believe, when Luna Lona ended up taking the title home. This time around, you've got one of your drivers in contention for the title once again. This time around, the 83, Bradyn Perez, comes into this race third in points, only 12 points back from the points lead. So, here in Bradyn Perez's position, what do you think he needs to do to potentially put himself in a position to potentially walk away with the championship here from Pocono, and just what are your expectations of how this race today might play out?
I think it's going to be a very exciting race here. Obviously, I mean, this is what I think we brought Bradyn Perez in here for. After the kind of disaster that we had at the end of last season with both of our drivers just finding their way, the fastest way out the door they possibly could. And we brought Perez in, and it wasn't a great, and Logan Williams. And it hasn't been a perfect start to it wasn't a perfect start to the season, but I think after Indianapolis, this team really came alive. And both the boys have been doing outstanding in the second half of the year, and now is really when it counts. On the outside, looking in here today, coming in 12 points behind, and obviously it's going to be a fight up against Tanner Partin, Zachary Fitzwater, and John Andrews, who's going to be playing the upset. He's going to need a lot to happen here today, but it should be a very good battle here between us, Trackhouse, and Vision, and I think it's going to be an exciting race here today.
Definitely going to be a fun race here from the Pocono Raceway. Perez has a bit of an uphill battle to conquer, but he is starting the best out of all the championship contenders coming in, starting in the 8th position, so potentially an advantage swing there for Bradyn Perez. Have to see if he can capitalize as we head into the race. And Nathan, you were in the booth for this race last season, and you saw just how crazy and awesome in general that race was. We saw a lot of action go down in this one, and it all came down to a sprint there at the end, which I don't even know if I could have scripted that sprint to the finish better. Absolute cinema that was. So this time around, what are your expectations here going into this race? How do you think this one is going to play out here from the Pocono Raceway?
Well, honestly, with how these IndyCars have been this year, and based off of last year for the season finale at Pocono, I honestly think we could see something very similar. I think the racing could be very chaotic, not only for the race win, but obviously for this very tight championship battle. And of course, last year you mentioned it, we had a full finish between my team and Alex's team at the line. So we'll see if something similar to that happens today. If that would be the case, that would be full of Velocitard versus Senna's Racing in a full finish. But I'm excited for the racing. I'm excited on who might win this tight championship battle for the final race of the 2025 season. It's been one heck of a season. I'm ready to get this finale underway at the Tricky Triangle.
A heck of a season it has been indeed, and likewise really looking forward to getting this final race underway. If it is even remotely anything like last season's race here, it ought to be quite the spectacle, that is definitely for certain. But regardless, should definitely be a very fun race here from the Pocono Raceway. Of course, like I mentioned, got a 50-lap race ahead of us, and pit window definitely a lot different around this racetrack. These guys will be making 2 stops here around the Pocono Raceway, so definitely going to be quite a lot of strategy involved in today's race. And of course, the on-track action at this racetrack is absolutely superb, and cannot wait to see how this race will play along. But really quickly, before we get festivities here underway, we'll take a quick look here at your point standings heading into the final race of the season. Of course, like we mentioned, Tanner Partin comes into the finale here as the points leader, but only has a 3-point cushion back to the next car in points, Zachary Fitzwater. These two have pretty much about been at the top of the point standings about all season long, and they come into the finale 1-2 in the point standings. Those two have been really going at it, and it all comes down to this. We'll have to see how those two will do here during this one. Third in points, like we mentioned, Bradyn Perez, who really came alive the second half of the season, got the win at the Michigan 100, and got another win as well in the 83, and he comes into this race third in points, only 12 points behind. Was the points leader going into Richmond. Unfortunately, kind of ran into a tough break there, had a slow pit stop, and fell down the order. Now comes in third, 12 points back, but still with a good opportunity to potentially make something happen here at Pocono. And then fourth in points, John Andrews in the 79. He was up there in the points in the earlier part of the season, kind of fell back a little bit, but has had some good rallies here in the latter part of the season. And he's been able to rally himself back up in this championship conversation. He comes in fourth in the standings, 44 points behind. So Andrews pretty much in a must-win situation here coming in, but we've seen crazier things happen here in the IndyCar Series. We know how it always goes. It's not over till it's over. So until the checkered flag falls, John Andrews still definitely well within this conversation here for this championship. And then just looking further on down, Brandon Wilmington coming in 5th in points, 53 back. Ace Garcia 6th in points, 58 back. Dylan Matthews is 7th, 67 back. 8th is Anthony Hernandez coming in 80 back. Christian Vargas is 9th, 93 back. And Bradley Bradshaw rounding out your top 10 in points, who was one of your championship contenders last season, coming in 106 points behind. And then haven't really talked about it much so far this season, but also taking a look at the owner's side of things. Vision Motorsports right now pretty much trying to cakewalk away with it. They have almost a 100-point gap back to the next team, Otter Island Motorsports. So, barring something absolutely crazy happening, they should probably walk away with the owner's title today after all is said and done. Of course, both Tanner Partin and Audra Baranauskas have had great seasons. Partin, of course, coming in the points leader, and Audra Baranauskas as well. And the one has had a great season as well. So Vision Motorsports looking to bring home both a driver's and an owner's championship. Have to see if they can do the double here from the Pocono Raceway. But I think that is just enough yapping from me. I think it's about time we get these guys rolling here from the Pocono Raceway. And as they do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting lineup here for the Haas World Championship 200K here from the Pocono Raceway. Starting on the pole position is the number 99 of Max Anderson, starting alongside the number 5 there of Nicholas Samadio. Row 2 is the 39 of Dylan Matthews, starting alongside the 07 of Bradley Bradshaw. Row 3, we've got the 55 of Noah Clifton and the 40 of Angel Oliveira, your winner of the last race at the Richmond Raceway. Row 4, it's the number 1 of Audrey Baranowska, starting alongside one of your championship contenders, the 83 of Bradyn Perez. Rounding out your top 10 there in row number 5, you have the 23 of Jane Knapp, starting alongside another one of your championship contenders, the 79 of John Andrews. There is the 08 of Tanner Partin, starting in the 13th spot. There is the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater back there, starting in the 18th position. So all of our championship contenders starting up here inside the top 20. Okay, looks like we're good. Race info, of course, to be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And Nathan and Matt, I gotta ask the both of you, who do you all think is going to walk away with the win and potentially the championship here from the Haas World Championship 200K?
Well, I think it's going to be a fun race here today, and I think the winner will win the championship, giving Tanner Partin winning the race and the championship here today. He's been one of the best cars all year, and I think he's going to get the job done.
We cleared house last off season for this moment here to right the ship for the disaster. A season last year, what is one of the best I think we've ever seen from a team. But it was a complete implosion at the end, and the guy in the 83, Bradyn Perez, he's here to right the ship. Give me him for the victory and the Drivers' Championship.
Oh, definitely going to be intriguing to watch these two around this racetrack. Going to be a lot of fun. What a season it has been. Thank you all so much for tuning in over the course of the season. And we got one more race to decide things here in the Haas IndyCar Series season. Here we go. We're green flag racing here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. The Haas World Championship 200K is green from the Pocono Raceway. Off of turn number 3 to lead the opening lap, it's the 99, Max Anderson, holding on to the race lead. Dylan Matthews in the 39, she's up to second. Samadio down to third. Already battles going on back here as Tanner Partin on that inside lane, going to try and get by the 83 of Bradyn Perez here, and now here comes the 79 of John Andrews to the inside of that 83. Partin continuing to try and march his way up here through the field early on as he's now to the inside of the 40 of Angel Oliveira. Fitzwater back there in the 52 has gotten down to the inside. He's already trying to make some ground up. Partin peek to the inside there of Chris Reynolds there going into turn 3. A big run coming here from the 79 of John Andrews peeking down to the inside. But coming to complete lap number 2, Max Anderson, the 99-year pole sitter, hanging on to the race lead still, and maybe even looking to try and pull away from the 39 of Dylan Matthews.
Fantastic start from the number 9 on Matt Anderson, and honestly, going through the field, I think it might be, as of now, it might be a very close battle for this championship if all of these championship drivers keep on hanging around each other, around 5 to 10 positions between each other, especially John Andrews and Tanner Partin. Of course, it's a little bit harder for John Andrews to win the title. He needs to win and then have the top 3 in points. All have a bad one, but a lot of them are up front at the moment. And meanwhile, battle for third, maybe 3 wide, and that's going to be 3 wide for third.
Oh boy. Baranowski's big move to the inside, 3 wide.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
How about that?
Little early in the race to be doing that here, but you make it work, you make it work.
Wow, that was a crazy move there out of the one of Andre Baranowskis. 3 wide, taking no prisoners there into turn number 1 and makes it work. Up in the 3rd position is that one machine of Baranowskis. Tanner Partin in the 8, continuing to make up ground. That 8 car is looking fast here in the early stages as he now gets by the 5 of San Mateo. Now he is up into the 8th position. John Andrews in the 79, kind of following him through, though. Andrews is also looking pretty quick there in the 79. Oh, and now he's looking to the inside of Tanner Partin. Side by side here through turn number 1. Andrews looking to take the 8th position away. Fitzwater in the 52, though, also looking pretty quick. Bradyn Perez in the 83 slipped back a little bit off of the start, but he is able to get back down to the inside. And this race is still far from over, so Perez still has the opportunity to make some of that ground back up. Angel Oliveira dives to the inside of the 8 of Tanner Partin, as now that 8 car kind of stuck up on that outside lane to try and limit the damage as much as possible. But now San Mateo looking to try and get to the inside here. See if Partin can maybe slot back in line, maybe block San Mateo on the bottom. It looks like he's going to be able to as San Mateo slots back in line. So Partin down to 10th, but John Andrews in the 79 now leads your 4 championship contenders, but like we mentioned, he needs to win and have the other 3 championship contenders kind of fall back a bit. But at least John Andrews can do in this situation is go for the race win, and right now it seems like that's what he's trying to do behind the wheel of that 79 machine.
Yeah, he's off to a really good start here. I mean, like we said, with how far behind in the championship he came in today, I don't really know if there's a realistic path for him. 44 points back, you need the other 3 guys to basically crash each other out, and the likelihood of that happening, unfortunately, isn't too great for him. But Tanner Partin's controlling the field right now. Zachary Fitzwater's Tanner Partin's controlling the title fight right now. Fitzy's trying to make up some ground. Bear in mind, Zachary Fitzwater came in this race only 3 points ahead. So if he gets to the back of Tanner Partin, oh boy, we have a title fight that's going to heat up very, very quickly here. And Bradyn Perez, this pack is closing back up. So I think, I have a feeling that none of these guys, Andrews is kind of out of it just because of how far behind he is and how good the title runners are running. But the rest of them are all still in it here. And also worth to note here, we still have a great battle for the lead heating up here as Max Anderson, Dylan Matthews, and Andre Baranowskis are all starting to close back together here at the front of this field.
Matthews been kind of slowly trying to reel in Anderson over these past couple of laps. Of course, Anderson, your pole sitter, has led the first 8 laps of the race so far, or the first 7, I should say. So we're here on to lap number 8, but Dylan Matthews looking to find some grip, looking to close back in, and Andre Baranowskis in the 1. We've seen how aggressive she is willing to be, so that 1 car trying to close into our top 2 as well to maybe get in on this lead conversation. Jay Knapp in the 23, having a good run here so far, running in 4th. Noah Clifton in 5th. Although battling here now with the 80 of Chris Reynolds. Bradley Bradshaw in the 07, running there in the 7th position. John Andrews in 8th. Angel Oliveira in 9th. And currently Tanner Partin there rounds out your top 10. But here comes Zachary Fitzwater looking to make a move here on teammate Bruno Giacomo. But Giacomo's going to get down before we head here into turn number 1 and stay ahead of the 52 of Fitzwater. Bradyn Perez in the 83, still back here in the 16th position. Took a peek there on the 27. Garcia's going to go for it here as we head into the tunnel turn. That's going to go side by side. We'll see if he can maybe stay to the inside. Dive it here into turn number 3, but it's going to slot back in line. A big dive back there from Avery Alford. Finding some grip there on the inside. We'll see if he can get to the inside of Perez, but Perez might have a bit of a run here on the outside lane. John Andrews at 79, now going after Bradley Bradshaw there for the 7th position. Meanwhile, up for the race lead, Max Anderson has pulled away a little bit from the 39 of Dylan Matthews. Jay Knapp in the 23 now going for the 3rd position. Angel Oliveira in the 40 looking to the inside of Bradshaw as well. Tanner Partin, though, going to stay in behind. But had an interesting race here so far from the Pocono Raceway. Max Anderson currently your leader as we come to complete lap number 10. And yeah, as they run right now, I do believe Tanner Partin right now currently leading this championship fight, but Fitzwater in the 52, only a couple of cars behind.
And for Tanner Partin, he definitely cannot take it too easy at the moment, with Fitzwater being only a couple of cars behind him, and this is not of what Fitzwater needs, as seeing the Dio didn't go past him. And meanwhile, the up front battle is getting a little bit spicy. Got some battles for position here, as Bradyn is under charge from, I believe, Chris Reynolds. And it's amazing of how this all plays out, because we got 2 pit stops here today, so that's going to play out differently than most. But Fitzwater, he's doing what he needs to do. He sees the 8 in front of him, Tanner Partin, but he's starting to pull away. And Tanner Partin, all he has to do, the best case scenario for him, and the easiest way for him to win the championship is just finish ahead of Perez and Zachary Fitzwater. Right now, Tanner Partin might have a little bit of a long one car, as he's on the move here on lap 12, but no one has been able to pass the number 99 for the way to lead here on lap 12, coming to lap 13.
So Matthews in the 39, of course, fell back a little bit there, but looking to try and close back in here to the 99 of Max Anderson. 23, Jane Knapp looking to cruise in as well. Chris Reynolds now up into 4th. Baranowskis down to 5th. But yeah, Tanner Partin so far doing exactly what he needs to do to bring it home a champion. He just needs to bring the car home clean and keep Zachary Fitzwater and Bradyn Perez in his mirrors, and doing a great job of that so far. With Zachary Fitzwater there, got passed by both Sam Adio and the 75 of Justin Zeidel, but he's already gotten back past the 5, and now looking to chase back down that 75 of Zeidel, looking to get back up to Tanner Partin. Bradyn Perez there in the 83, kind of got trapped up there on the outside again, and he's now down to 20th. So Perez may be struggling a little bit in the early stages of this race, but like I said, still a long way to go. Still got pit stops ahead of us as well, where that can definitely shake things up, and also gives the opportunity to potentially make adjustments as well if the car is a bit needle handling. So Perez down, but definitely not out of it quite yet. Have to see how the rest of this race plays out here from the Pocono Raceway, but Max Anderson, the 99, still holding on to this race lead, doing a great job so far here from the Haas World Championship 200K. But as the laps tick down, we're starting to approach that first cycle of pit stops. Windows should open up around lap 17. And these guys could potentially stretch it to around lap number 19, so we'll have to see who decides to come in early, who decides to stretch it long. Like I said, the strategy aspect of this race is definitely going to be very, very interesting. Meanwhile, out here on the racetrack for the second position, here comes Chris Reynolds in the 80. Looking to try and get around Dylan Matthews. Can't quite get enough momentum there, but is going to slot in right behind and is all over the gearbox of that 39 Evans Ross racing machine.
These top 3 have been putting in a good battle here. Pocono's a weird racetrack here with these open wheel cars in their current aero setup. It definitely takes a few laps to build a run. And I will say it's going to get interesting here in a couple laps here once we start pitting and seeing which of these boys and girls is going to make the undercut. Tires obviously matter a lot here, or your outlap is very important here, and getting in and out quickly can be quite crucial here. But I think a little bit of they've kind of calmed down here a little bit as the tires have worn on them, and you can see they got the DRS train all the way down the front straightaway here. So it is going to make this pit stop cycle, this first cycle, very, very high stakes. Because there's only, that's 5 seconds covering the entire field, if even right now. So
just about,
championship contender. Yeah, championship contenders, you got to be on toe, and you cannot afford a pit stop mistake here because it could be very detrimental.
Definitely, arguably, these might be 2 of the most important pit stops of the entire season, especially if you're up here in this championship battle. So, pit stop mistake is going to be absolutely critical, especially at a track like this where, like I mentioned, everybody is so closely bunched together. Definitely going to get interesting here from Poconos. We're on to lap number 17 right now, so the window should be opening up this time around. We'll have to see if we potentially see any takers. As the tires have started to wear out a little bit, though, everyone has kind of single-filed out for the time being. Partin in the 8th still running in the 9th position. Fitzwater only a couple cars behind there in 13th. Here we go, coming into turn number 3 here. We'll have to see if anybody elects to duck low and come down the pit lane. Doesn't look like any of our front runners are going to come down. Looking throughout the field, doesn't look like anybody. Now, nobody's going to come down here on lap 17, so nobody electing to come in really, really early. So we're on to lap number 18 here. I would definitely imagine we might see some takers here this time around. And once those first couple guys come in, it's absolutely going to open the floodgates on pit lane. But Max Anderson, the 99, looking to lead to that first cycle of stops. Matthews and Chris Reynolds, though, trying to close in. Here into turn number 3, I think. Here we go. Max Anderson, Matthews, Chris Reynolds, all ducking to the low side here in turn 3, and here we go. Here on lap 18, pit stops are underway here from Pocono. Partin and Andrews are going to come in, and I think the rest of our championship contenders are as well, along with most of the field.
Wow, that is a very, very busy pit road, and I think almost everybody decided to just pit on lap 18, coming to lap 19.
Oh,
and
John Andrews.
It's going to be fairly tight, a little bit of contact.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a wide pit road, but with this many cars, you got to be very careful with some of the contact.
Definitely got to be pretty careful here getting on and off pit road. We're seeing a little bit of contact so far, but nothing really that seems to scream harm and foul. There goes the Tanner Partin out of the pit lane. You see Zachary Fitzwater back there as well, and there's Perez in the 83 as well. Brad Stover in the 81, though, maybe got a little bit too much damage there. Had to stay in and repair it, but here comes Nat, Baranowskis, Miller, and Lona, your 4 cars that elected to stay out and stretch it long. We're all going to come down here on lap number 19, coming to lap number 20. But actually off of the pit lane there, it's going to be the 39 of Dylan Matthews that let him off. A slow stop for Max Anderson, the 99. And it looks like that's going to cost him quite dearly there. A tough break there for Max Anderson. Going to lose quite a couple positions now, running right in front of the 8 of Tanner Partin. And Dylan Matthews in the 39, potentially looking to take the race lead here. Here comes the 23 of Jay Knapp out of the pit lane, followed by the other guys that came in. We'll see how quickly the 23 can get up to speed, but it looks like Dylan Matthews in the 39 going to fly by around the outside. And Dylan Matthews, after everything is said and done, is going to take the race lead here from Pocono. Jay Knapp in the 23 might hold on to second. We'll have to see how quickly he can get that momentum up. Chris Reynolds there right now running third. Noah Clifton fourth. Baranowskis looking to hold on to fifth. Looks like sixth might end up being the 79 of John Andrews as he dives into the inside of Carson Miller, who's still looking to try and get some speed in that 86. We got the 41 of Bruno Diacomo. The 99 of Max Anderson, and we got a lot of battling going on back here, including with the 8 of Tanner Partin, who might have lost a bit of ground there in the 8 machine. He's now outside of the top 10, and the car right behind him is the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater. Ooh, this could get interesting here from Pocono.
He's farther back on track, but I think Bradyn Perez is actually closer as far as car count in between him now. Not huge, but
last time around wasn't.
It's gonna get interesting here. No, yeah. Well, Tanner Partin lost a few positions here on pit road, so he's dropped a little bit. The real battle's going to be between him and Zachary Fitzwater here, because if Zachary Fitzwater can get by him, he only needs to get, I think, about 2 spots ahead up the road, and then he is the championship leader. So this is going to be exciting here for Fitzy. See if there's still another round of pit stops here that could shake this all up here, but the going is now. The race is going to pick up here as we enter into the second half. John Andrews, he's not going to win the championship today, but you do got to tip the cap to him here today. He has stepped up to the plate. It's gotten up to the 5th position now. Got a long way to go here to crack those top 4. They have pulled themselves away here, but it is going to be a great battle here in the second half of this race.
Things are really starting to pick up now as everybody has cycled out of the pit lane and everything and trying to go for whatever they can. John Andrews in the 79, where everybody is running right now, pretty much wouldn't have a shot at the championship, but still, like I said, Matt, still got to give a tip of the cap. He is doing an absolutely phenomenal job here today so far in the 79. Roger Branescus in the one, going to get back by for the 5th position, but still running inside of the top 10 is at 79. So you definitely have to give credit where credit is due there. Tanner Partin in the 8. Got back around Luna Lona, so right now running in 11th. Fitzwater in 13th. But Fitzwater still really, really close to the 8 of Tanner Partin. And like you said, especially up here towards the front of the field, just 2 positions could be all it can take to win a championship. So Fitzwater trying to do everything that he needs to do to stay close to this 8 machine and potentially keep himself in a position to pounce when it matters most. And Bradyn Perez in the 83, like I said earlier, down but not out. Still a lot can happen, and still not having the worst days there in the 20th position. And he's not too far behind this big old pack of cars, so we'll have to see if maybe he can close on. We'll just have to see. But yeah, these top 4 have absolutely pulled away, but I don't think that's going to stop them from battling amongst themselves, as Chris Reynolds looking to draw in the 39, Dylan Matthews, and Jay Knapp and Noah Clifton right there waiting in the wings as well.
Absolutely. These top 4 are broken away after pit stops, and it's unfortunate for Matt Sampson. Started on pole, dominated the first one, had a slow stop, and he's on the back half of the top 10, and that's unfortunate. But it's like what we've been saying. It's not only for the championship, but also for all these drivers trying to get one last win on the season. These last 2 pit stops today are very important, and we saw right there from Matt Sampson, unfortunately. But gotta give credit where credit is due. With John Anderson, I think he has the top 5 car. If he can get some strategy looking his way and maybe get past some of these cars ahead of him, maybe Anderson's gonna have a shot at the top 4, top 5. It's not gonna be a championship run for him here, but it's definitely been a very solid season from John Andrews in the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series. But at this point, with Perez being in 20th, I think it's going to be a very, very tight duel between Tanner Partin and one of the greats of NR, Zachary Fitzwater.
It's definitely shaping up to be a fantastic championship battle, as Partin continuing to do everything that he can to hold on to the potential championship winning position, but to the inside through 3 goes the 04 Luna Lona. Ooh, Fitzwater in the 52. Oh, is he going to go 3 wide? Fitzwater looking low, going into 1. Lona puts the block on him, but Fitzwater tried it. But still, Lona the inside of Partin, and here comes Zachary Fitzwater looking to turn the tides of this championship battle. Side by side here, heading into the tunnel turn, Fitzy and Partin. We'll see who gets the advantage of this. Bradley Bradshaw in behind the 52, looking to potentially follow suit. And Fitzy's going to dive it in here to turn number 3. He clears Tanner Partin, and now here he comes to the inside of the 86 of Miller, and now Bradshaw's to the inside of Tanner Partin. And if Fitzy can clear the 86 of Miller, and if Bradshaw can get by the 8 of Partin, that could potentially be all that Fitzwater needs, and he's going to stay to the insider going into turn 1. Fitzwater gets by in the 07. Alford now gets down low, and just like that, that's how quickly things can change, as Zachary Fitzwater, I believe, now takes the lead of the championship.
I can confirm he is now in the driver's seat of the championship here, folks. I mean, Tanner Partin versus Bradyn Perez, 2 younger guys here, but Zachary Fitzwater proving that Unk still got it here today in the IndyCar Series, and he's starting to scoop away from Tanner Partin as Tanner Partin is struggling.
Look who's closing in.
So much that Bradyn Perez is starting to come back into this title fight. And folks, we're going to get another round of pit stops here. If Perez can actually nail the pit cycle, we might be going all the way down to the check. We are going, let me phrase that, not we might. We are going all the way down to this checkered flag here of the season here. And a close to this end of the era of the IndyCar Series. Boy, oh boy, it's going to give us an unbelievable championship fight here as this race. This is one of the best title fights I think I have seen in a hot minute here on this channel. This is fantastic stuff.
Fantastic stuff we are bearing witness to indeed. as now Tanner Partin slips behind in the 8 machine, lost quite a bit of ground there to the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater, and like you said, now Bradyn Perez in the 83 has re-entered the fray. He's closed into this line of cars, and now he might potentially have a shot at making something happen here, and if he has a good pit stop, once we get to that second cycle, he definitely could slingshot him up into this conversation. It's definitely getting exciting up for this championship, and it's getting exciting up here for the race lead as well. Still got one more race win to the side here as well, and Dylan Matthews trying to hold on, I believe looking for her 3rd win on the season. There for Evans Ross Racing. I don't believe anybody has won this season more than twice. So Dylan Matthews looking to break the mold there. Chris Reynolds in the 80 looking to take BO Racing to the win for the 2nd week in a row. Jay Knapp in the 23 looking to take that Grattan Autosport machine to victory lane. That would be a huge win for Knapp and Grattan Autosport. Back in through here, Zachary Fitzwater in the 52, running in the 11th position. Partin in the 8 down to 18th. Perez in the 19th position. Right behind the 8 of Partin, and we'll have to see if he can close in, maybe even potentially pass this 8 machine. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. He's got a bit of a run here through turn 3. A good run there on the inside lane, and he's probably going to close in a little bit here down the front straightaway. A lot of movement here going on up here as Andrews peeks to the inside of the 41. Bruno Diacono not quite going to get the move done just yet. But things are getting spicy back here, and things are getting spicy for the race lead as Chris Reynolds has gotten around the 39 Dylan Matthews for the race lead. It's always in our offline tradition to miss a pass here for the race lead, but Matthews still not quite done yet. Still on the gearbox, the 80 of Chris Reynolds, and of course Jay Knapp and Noah Clifton back there in 3rd and 4th waiting in the wings. And now these guys have a pretty solid gap back here to 5th place for Warren Vajapara. You got 75 Justin Zidell up here as well. Max Anderson still having a good run there in the 99. Bruno Diacomo, John Andrews, and Luna Lona your top 10. But here comes Zachary Fitzwater in the 52 looking for another spot here. And back here we go.
Oh boy.
Bradyn Perez to the inside of Tanner Partin looking to take the 18th spot away. And now that Perez is in this line of cars, he's got an opportunity to make up some ground here in that 83. Definitely had the opportunity to make some changes to that car onto that last caution flag, and judging by how he was able to close into this pack and none of these passes yet at Tanner Partin, I don't know, they might be working out for him.
Oh boy, and you know what? We touched on the pit stops. You can make adjustments on pit road, and I think that's what some of these drivers have done. I think Fitzwater has gone the right way, and maybe Tanner Partin went the wrong way on this one. And that second pit stop is going to be very interesting because they're probably going to pit with around 38 to 40 laps left. So in about 5 laps or so. You don't need as much fuel in the car as you do for that first pit stop. So maybe some shenanigans, maybe some strategy, maybe 2 tires and less fuel, or maybe they might still do 4 tires and fuel. But I find it very funny that me and Matt picked the 2 cars to win the race and the championship are back here, and then the one that we didn't, Zachary Fitzwater, and he is on the move still and is in position to win the championship. And we missed another pass for the lead, but these top 4, if we don't get a yellow, it's going to be these top 4 for the race win.
What they say that those top 4 are probably going to be the ones to watch here for this race lead, is like you mentioned, another swap for the race lead as Matthews gets back around the 80 of Chris Reynolds. And I'd say we are closing in here in probably just about a lap or 2 on our second cycle of pit stops. Bradyn Perez looking to make some more ground up. He's gotten past the 5 of San Mateo. Here he comes on the 40 of Angel Oliveira, looking to get around that 40 machine. Angel Gutierrez in the 49 has been making some spots up as well as Perez clears Oliveira here through turn number 3. If Bradyn can have a good stop, like we've been talking about, I think he definitely might have something potentially for this 52 of Zachary Fitzwater. We'll have to see what he can do. This is going to be the money stop right here from Pocono. This is probably where our race-winning contenders are going to be decided, and where our championship contenders will slot out, and who we potentially might be seeing have a shot at this championship once the checkered flag flies. Marcus Glitch in the 48 is going to be the first to come down the pit lane. Ooh, maybe some split strategy up here towards the front. In the 80 is going to come in. Do we have any split strategy back here? Bradley Bradshaw is going to come in. So is her now. Oh, Tanner Partin. Partin's going to undercut. And slipping back a little bit in that 8 machine. I guess the thought process there is, why not?
I love that call. I love that call. If we're dropping back, hit early and maybe try and flip it.
Maybe.
I remember you only need to get in front of Zachary Fitzwater to get the championship back, and he needs to do something bold here. Same as Bradyn Perez. I'm a little shocked that they didn't go down pit road with Tanner Partin, but you only need to get in front of Zachary Fitzwater, and Tanner Partin wins the championship here. So it's going to be very dicey here for these two as they come down pit road. Oh, we got another one on the overcut here. But here we go. That's a lot of cars. They are so...
Ooh, he came in there flying, almost hit the barrels.
Matt almost had a mini heart attack right there for his car. That was close.
Unfortunately, I'm kind of used to it here in the Haas IndyCar Series to see whatever the worst possible outcome is, it can happen to us. But, Jay Knapp might be in position P, or Jay Knapp, this is a bold strategy to stay out this long.
Here we go, here come these guys off of the pit lane. There's Zachary Fitzwater, Bradyn Perez in the 83 off of the pit lane there. And here we go, the run to the finish starts now. We'll see where Tanner Partin in the 8 comes out. Ooh, that's 3 wide out of the pit lane. Hopefully they're going to sort that out. There's Zeta Partin on the outside, looking to try and clear all these guys. Fitzwater quite a bit up the road, though, but Partin will have the momentum. There is a lot of cars, though, coming out of the pit lane. It's busy here down the back straightaway. There's the 83 of Bradyn Perez as well. Thomas Troxel dives it to the inside, though, on the 25. Woo! The reigning champion with a big move there.
That was a little bit close.
You can say that again. Side by side here up here. Dylan Matthews and Chris Reynolds going after it there for what might end up being the net race lead. Here comes the 23 of Jay Knapp out of the pit lane. This could get a bit dicey. Reynolds has to check up, and Matthews is going to hold on to it. Knapp trying to block for the second position. Maybe trying to use the 8 of Chris Reynolds to maybe get him up to speed a little bit, but Reynolds is going to dive it to the inside and take the second position back away. Knapp in the 23 going to fall down to third, but still looking to hold on with these top two, and he's going to have the freshest tires out of these guys. So we'll have to see where all that ends up shaking out. Marcus Glitch there in the 48, I believe on the tail end of the lead lap. But second stop is come and gone here from the Pocono Raceway. We've got 11 laps to go here in the season, and it is all gas, no brakes here to the checkered flag. Dylan Matthews in the 39, currently holding on to the race lead. Chris Reynolds there in second. Jay Knapp in third. Noah Clifton is fourth. Baranowskis just took fifth away. Justin Zeidel in sixth. Seventh is Bradley Bradshaw. Eighth is Luna Lona. Ninth is the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater. 10th right now is the 97 of Aaron Abel. There's the 13 of Tanner Partin in the 13th position. 14th is John Anderson. Bradyn Perez there in the 83 is in the 19th position. But we saw how quickly he closed up to that pack in the first run. So we'll have to see if he can make a charge at this one. But Zachary Fitzwater in the 52, currently leading this championship battle. Tanner Partin, though, right at the end of this tail end of cars. We'll have to see if that 8 machine maybe made some adjustments here under that last caution. We'll see if he closes back in here to the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater. But 10 coming to 9 laps to go here from Pocono, and here we go for this race lead. We got 3 drivers going at it. This is shaping up to be an exciting conclusion to the Haas World Championship 200K.
Absolutely. We got a fantastic 3-car battle for the win, and any of them could get the job done. And, we saw it last year. We had a full finish down to the wire in this race 1 year ago, and to see that happen once again between these top 3 of Dylan Matthews, Jay Knapp, and Chris Reynolds. And at the same time, Fitzwater in the 8th position. He is in a decent spot, pulling away from the cars behind him. But with how close it is, especially with Tanner Partin and Zachary Fitzwater, it's still not over. But Tanner Partin only has 8 laps to go in that number 8 machine, and he needs to catch up Max Anderson, pass him, and catch up to Zachary Fitzwater in only 8 laps time.
He's falling off from this 99 Max Anderson a little bit, and he needs to try and stay with him, and potentially maybe even try and work with him to get ahead of these guys. There's the 83 of Bradyn Perez, still trying everything he can to close in and maybe make a run at these last couple of laps, but he definitely has a lot of cars to pass if he does want to pull this off. So Zachary Fitzwater in the 52, in the 8th position, looking to bring it home. For the race lead, though, Jay Knapp in the 23 has taken it away. Oh, but here comes the 80 of Chris Reynolds. What a dive that was into turn number 3, and we're side by side here for the race lead. We're not going to miss this one.
No, we are not. It is Reynolds. It is Knapp. It is BO Racing. It is Grattan Autosport in their final ever open wheel race. And here comes Reynolds sending it down to the inside. You got to remember, though, Knapp's got those little bit fresher tires because he was the last one to pit here. He's going to hold off on the outside. And now, ding dong, Indy 500 deja vu. We have a slower car that might be able to. Jay Knapp's got to work this carefully, but he could use Marcus Glitch to build himself a little bit of a buffer here as we run down the short stretch here into turn 3. You can see he's using some of that toe to help him pull away. And now Dylan Matthews, with a lot of draft sitting back there, is going to start closing up to the back of Chris Reynolds here, but boy, oh boy, this has been a great battle for the championship. This has been a great battle for the race win. I mean, we saw a couple of years. We've seen both of the past 2 years. This race has come down to, forget the last lap. This race has come down to the last 1,700 feet or so. So we are in for a thrilling finish here, the way that this is stacking out.
Finally, of course, like we mentioned, Jay Knapp on those fresher tires, looking to take advantage, as well as taking advantage of the toe from Marcus Glitch. Chris Reynolds and Dylan Matthews now going to get to the inside of that 48 machine. Looking to potentially close back in here to the 23 of Knapp. Knapp has the fresher tires, but Reynolds and Matthews will have the draft. This could potentially be shaking up to be an exciting finish. Here from Pocono, Zachary Fitzwater's marching his way up here through this top 10. Oh, he's going to try 3 wide again. Oh, you don't have to do that. But he's going to do it anyway.
He's going to make it work up to the top 5 now for Zachary Fitzwater. And that's huge. That is huge.
Oh, my goodness.
What a move out of Zachary Fitzwater. Zidell's going to clear him there on the outside, but still, crazy 3-wide move there to the inside by Zachary Fitzwater. That is going to put him up in the 6th position now. Tanner Partin in the 8th, just trying to hang on back here. I think he might have lost a couple spots. He's now down to 14th. Bradyn Perez back there in the 83. He's closing in ever so slightly, but I just don't know if there's going to be enough time there for that 83. It looks like it's just going to come down here to Zachary Fitzwater and Tanner Partin, and right now it is looking pretty sporty for the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater. He has done an incredible job here today. He's done everything that he needs to do to walk home with his championship and then some. And this time around, it's going to be 3 laps to go until arguably one of the most famous names in NR offline racing nabs the championship here in the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. 3 to go here in the 2025 season, and Jay Knapp in the lead, looking to bring it home for Grattan Autosport.
Zachary Fitzwater looking to secure the championship. Grattan Autosport and Jay Knapp looking to win here in their last open wheel race before this program closes doors. He's got up to 5th. I mean, that was an unbelievable championship closing move here by Zachary Fitzwater, and an unbelievable season for him. It has been a struggle the past few years on the Cup side for Zachary Fitzwater here, but what a moment. He's now 5 miles away from securing the Haas IndyCar Championship here. An unbelievable moment here, and Jay Knapp pulled away a little, about 2/10 that time by, so Chris Reynolds is going to have to do something quick because we're under 5 miles to go here in this 2025 season.
Down the back
Absolutely.
here for the second to final time.
And you know, the key thing about that 23, we've been saying it, did the overcut on flush tires, and he is absolutely flying. And you know, credit to Zachary Fitzwater, neither me or Matt picked him to win, but he proved us wrong here today. Never count out Zachary Fitzwater. 1 lap to go until he's the IndyCar champion in 2025.
You can never count this man out, and he's coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go here from the Haas World Championship 200K from the Pocono Raceway. Jay Knapp in the 23 looking to bring home a big win for himself and Grattan Autosport. And off a strategy, got the fresher tires, did everything he needed to do there. And this is going to be huge for himself and that team. And Zachary Fitzwater in the 52, like I said, did what he needed to do and then some. But here they come. Off of turn number 3, Jay Knapp is going to go to victory lane for Grattan Autosport. And off of turn number 3, he's finally going to add a championship cup to his trophy case. Zachary Fitzwater wins the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series Championship.
What a drive from Zachary Fitzwater. It was only 3 points behind, and you know what? The best car of the championship contenders won the championship here today. No doubt about it. The top 5-1 easily gets it, and I regret not picking Fitzwater. I almost picked him. I went with Tanner Partin instead, but what a drive, what a race. And in a year where we've seen some crazy races here in the IndyCar Series, a normal race, a fantastic race, and Fitzwater does it once again.
Yeah, I mean, it is like, I mean, you know, he's had some moments over the past few years, you know, where he's obviously, you know, he's found his way to victory lane. But this is really the first season in, honestly, a hot minute here in a few years where Fitzy really came out and was start to finish a title contender. And I think, you know, we'll look back to that Indy 250 week where Bradyn Perez found a lot of speed. I mean, remember, Zachary Fitzwater, I think, if I remember correctly, he was the pole sitter at the Indy 250. Had a good year going into that, but really, I think, carried the momentum from that. And found himself here standing on the top step of the points at the end of the season to win the Drivers' Championship. A fantastic moment for him, and obviously, you know, you don't really know how much longer you'll get to see him race for here. So this is definitely a really cool thing to see. And I mean, shout out Jay Knapp as well. It'll get overshadowed by a championship, but brilliant strategy masterclass there by him and the 23 team. And Grattan Autosports going out with a bang here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Australia coming out here on top in the Haas Indy World Championship.
Absolutely. Just what a race this was. What a season it has been. And in the end, Zachary Fitzwater, the legend himself, is going to add another big trophy to his trophy case. Zachary Fitzwater, your 2025 Haas IndyCar Series Championship. Your Haas IndyCar Series champion, I should say. Excuse me there, but just, wow, what a race that was here from Pocono. Might not have been as cinematic as last year's, but still, that was a great race. Saw a lot of action on the racetrack, and honestly, kind of nice to see the race kind of just come down to strategy. And like you mentioned in the end, Jay Knapp in the 23 elected for the overcut, went for the freshest tires, and that paid off for him there in the end. He comes home with the race win here from Pocono. Like I said, a huge win there for him and Grattan Autosport. Really nice seeing Jay Knapp go back to victory lane. And nice to see Grattan Autosport nab another win there in what has been bit of a struggle for them so far this season. So nice to see both of their drivers getting a win apiece there. But just, wow, what a race this was. What a performance out of Zachary Fitzwater. Honestly, from when the green flag flew, that 52 was absolutely on rails and gave it his absolute all and ends up coming home with a top 5 finish and a championship trophy there for Fitzy and Trackhouse Racing. Still got to give a call, though, to Tanner Partin. Had a solid day there himself. Comes home in the 14th position. John Andrews, as well in the 79, he had speed. Unfortunately, the track position just didn't quite work out for him. Comes home in 16th, and the same could probably be said for Bradyn Perez. It looked like he had a pretty fast car after that first cycle of pit stops, but was kind of maybe fell back a little bit too much after that opening run and falls back, finishing in the 21st position. But still, an incredibly flying effort from all of those guys. And in the end, Zachary Fitzwater, like I said, the legend himself, is going to get himself another championship here in the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. But what a race to close out the season here from the Pocono Raceway. Matt and then Nathan, I'll go ahead and put you all on here. Final thoughts about what you all saw here today from the Pocono Raceway, and what are your all's expectations potentially going into the next season of the Haas IndyCar Series season? There'll be a little bit of reshuffling going on in the off-season and behind the scenes, and definitely cannot wait to see how it'll all play out. But what was your all's thoughts on this race and honestly just this season as well in general?
No, it was a very exciting season. I mean, obviously, I only got to call a couple races here towards the end, but they were both very solid races here. This track definitely race is different for the open wheel cars than the stock cars. For whatever reason, the draft is significantly stronger in the stock cars than it is here, but that's also due to some of the rating stuff. But I digress. But no, I mean, there were some really good drives here. Some great moments throughout the season. I mean, the Indy 250 qualifying, getting a call of that for the first time was a lot of fun with y'all. Watkins Glen was fun. Some great races throughout the season. And it should definitely, I think it'll be an exciting off season. Probably the most reshuffling we've seen in a hot minute here. Some of these off season signings are going to be quite important here. Because there's going to be a lot more input on the driver's side. So it should be. I have no intention of breaking up my driver lineup. I know that it didn't work out for them today, either Bradyn or Logan, but they were very good all season, or really great second half from this group. And I'm looking forward to running them back next year. But shout out Jay Knapp winning the finale here, sending his team off with a bang. And shout out Zachary Fitzwater here. Stepping up huge when the moment mattered the most and securing I believe that's his first ever IndyCar championship here on the channel.
Absolutely, couldn't have agreed more. This was a very fun season with all the races I think I call it a handful. I think I was in the booth for Indy GP, I believe, and then of course Canadian Tire a few weeks ago was wild, but a while might be an understatement, but it's been a very fun season. Getting to see Bradyn Wilmington get his first win on the channel in the Indy 250 as a driver, that was something that will always be special here on the channel. And I'm not just saying that because wasn't his racing, but what a season. For this race to come down to how close it was in the point standings for 50 laps, it was wild. And we really didn't know who was going to win. Fitzwater had the best car late, but before that, it was a coin flip between Tanner Partin and Zachary Fitzwater, pretty much, with how they were winning. So, great one from Tanner Partin all season long. Great one from Zachary Fitzwater. And a great job, too, Care, for winning this IndyCar Series the last 2 years for AG. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to what you do in the trucks here. Looking forward to what you do next year in the National Series, and then, of course, with the IndyCar Series, very much looking forward to what Alex does, and of course, with all the those scenes stuff behind the scenes. I'm looking forward to 2026 already, and I love these IndyCars, and I cannot wait for the 2026 Haas IndyCar season. Once again, congrats to Jay Knapp, and once again, congrats to the NR2003 legend himself, Zachary freaking Fitzwater.
Congratulations indeed are in order for Zachary Fitzwater after today's race. And just, yeah, what a season it has been. What a ride it's been here for the past 2 seasons here of the Haas IndyCar Series season. Of course, like Nathan touched on there, next season, things will be being changed around a little bit. Of course, Alex will be taking the reins back of the series, and definitely cannot wait to see what he can put back into this series. It's going to be a lot of fun. Indy 250, of course, the race that he does every year, is always a blast, and cannot wait to see how all of that will play out next season. But of course, close out this year, of course, we got a Turkey Hill Truck Series. Of course, Daytona premiered, I believe, just a couple of days ago. Really good race that was, and the next time out will be at the Darlington Raceway, which also should be a lot of fun there in its own right. Still got a lot of exciting stuff planned here on the channel, including next year where we got the Wawa National Series premiering, and cannot wait to see how all that will play out. But still, just what a ride it has been these last 2 seasons, and I cannot thank all of you all enough for watching. Thank you to everybody who drove in this series for the past 2 seasons. Thank you to all the owners out there. Thank you to you all and everybody else who joined me alongside for the call of these races. And just thank you especially to Alex again for giving me the opportunity to run this series among lots of other exciting series that are going to be coming up here on the channel. This has been an absolute blast, and cannot wait to see what the future has in store for both this series and all the other series we got coming up here on the channel. But once again, just thank you all so much for tuning into these races, and thank you to everybody out there in this community for making it what it is. But with all of that being said, congratulations to the 23 of Jay Knapp for winning the Haas World Championship 200K, and a huge congratulations to Zachary Fitzwater, your 2025 Haas IndyCar Series champion. But that is going to wrap things up here for the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. Thank you so much for Matt and Nathan for joining me alongside the call for this race. And I will see you all next time out at the Turkey Hill Truck Series race at Darlington. Ought to be a lot of fun, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that one. And then we will see you all next season here for the Haas IndyCar Series season. Cannot wait to see how it'll all play out. But thank you all so much once again for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. But until then, you all take care and have a good one. Here is your final point standings for the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season.